औज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। आपका मेज़बान आरिफ जहांगीरी एक दफ़ा फिर प्रोग्राम कम्युनिटी टॉक के साथ नाजरीन हाजिर है। नाजरीन, आपको पता है कि पिछले हफ्ते जो है हमने दो काउंसलर को आपके साथ इंट्रोड्यूस कराया था जिनका ताल्लुक मिल्टन से था, और वो जनाब एक तो री इलेक्ट कर रही थी क्रिस्टीना, और दूसरे जो हैं वो साले हाशमी थे। साले हाशमी एक यंग मैन थे जो कि काउंसलर का इलेक्शन लड़ रहे हैं वार्ड 4 से। तो आज भी हमारे जो प्रोग्राम का तसलसल जारी है, और आज हमने जो है वो मार्कम से एक नौजवान हैं, और वो फर्स्ट टाइम जो है ही जंप इनटू द पॉलिटिक्स of this councils, but he is running for the trustee election from the York Region District School Board, and he is a very energetic and highly qualified gentleman. He did his MPA from the Queen University, and mashallah doing a lot of volunteer works as well as involved in the social work of the community. A lot of it. He himself tells more about himself. Let me introduce you Ali Chatta. Ali Chatta is a young man from the Markham who is running for the trustee election from Ward 5 and 7. Hi Ali.
Hello Arif Saab, thank you so much for having me.
Assalamu alaikum. So Ali, I know that you did, mashallah, your Master of Public Administration, right, from the Queen's University, and that involves in many social work with the youth. So first, tell something about yourself to our audience who are listening to you.
Sure, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on the show. My name is Ali Chatta. I'm currently seeking the school board trustee position in Markham with YRDSB, York Region District School Board, for Markham Wards 5 and 7. I'm a resident of Markham for the past 15 years. I moved to this city when I started university, and I went to York for my bachelor's in political science and international development. Then I pursued my master's, as you mentioned, at Queen's in public administration. And thereafter, I pursued my PMP certification. So professionally, my background happens to be in public policy and project management. And I've always had a keen interest in public service and community service. And it's why I've been involved with multiple organizations in many capacities as a volunteer. And I've also worked with them, focusing on civic participation, making sure that our community members are voting and engaged in the political process. And also, we're working with youth as well, making sure that we're working with them and their developmental needs to meet, to help them, be successful in their future as well. So those are some of the things that I'm currently engaged in. It's something that is education particularly is close to my heart because मैं जो खुद हूँ because मैं खुद इस system से गुजरा हूँ, तो मुझे अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अच्छा एक idea है कि भाई हमारे क्या जो चीजें हैं वो अच्छी चल रही हैं और क्या हैं वो चीजें कुछ जो challenges हैं और
Definitely, तो जाहिर बात है कि एक नौजवान जो कि खुद जो है वो सिस्टम से गुजरा हो, when he pass out from that system is really he know the weaknesses as well, right? Or this is a very good decision you made because our community need the youngster like you that who can understand the system, right? So tell me some, Ali, that why you decided that, okay, this is a time, you are a project management person, right? And I'm sure you're professionally involved in and you're professionally doing something, I'm sure, 100%. So why are you thinking that the public sector, helping the public sector, right? And this is a great place to work it out. Why you think?
Well, that's a great question. Arsab, I think it's partly, number one, I've always had a keen interest in the political system, right? Because for me, मैं समझता हूँ कि जो हमारा political system है, especially here in Canada, it's a great vehicle to bring about positive change, right? तो community के लिए representation जो है वो बड़ी matter करती है. And given this, the size of our community, given how invested we are in this community, we have a large community and a very diverse community. I want to be able to make sure that we have a voice at the table. और जो community level पे मेरी engagements हैं, whether it's with youth, seniors, civic participation organizations, advocacy, particularly, क्योंकि जो मैंने एक चीज सीखी है वो ये है कि भाई advocacy के बगैर, advocate करने के बगैर, किसी चीज के पीछे लग के उसके बगैर आपको काम नहीं होता. ठीक है. तो advocacy is at the heart of politics and it must be issue based advocacy. और मैं community level पे non politically मैं काफी engaged रहा हूँ बड़े सालों से since university. Different issues, some of them domestic, some of them even international. And that is what I want to bring to the table, advocacy. I want to make sure कि हमारी community से, for all communities, we have to have somebody at the table who understands us, who understands our needs, who understands and appreciates the values that we have, and who's able to articulate those values at the decision-making table, and make sure that we are heard, and when those decisions are being made, जो हमारी ज़रूरियात हैं वो भी उसमें consideration होती हैं. So that is
So
one of the
I know that, but there are several issues. Definitely, when you are working with the trustee level, the major focus is definitely the policies, right? Budget, policies, right?
Correct.
Controls. Those are the few things on the higher level where the trustees work it out. They are not really involved in a very grassroots level of the issues, right? They involve in the higher policies, right? So what are some policies that you
Yes.
think that on the trustee level you want to see and you want to change there?
Absolutely. Yes. So definitely जो trustee का role है, this is concerning education particularly, or जो trustee की power है, it comes from the provincial legislation, particularly the Education Act, right? And through that legislation is how the board of trustees and the trustees are empowered to make decisions. In the past number of जब मैंने इस पे सोच रहा था इसको करने के लिए, क्योंकि मैं youth के साथ regularly अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह काम करता हूँ, कोशिश करता हूँ करने की, and I've been able to develop good relations with the youth as well as their parents. And it was indeed some of their parents जिन्होंने कहा कि भाई आपको इस पे forward जाना चाहिए, और उसकी वजूहत ये थी कि भाई जो हमें issues नजर आ रहे थे. For example, we're working with a 5-point platform at the moment, जो हमने स्टूडेंट्स, एजुकेटर्स और पेरेंट्स के साथ बात करने के बाद ही इसको डिसाइड किया. नंबर 1 उस पे जो आ रहा है, जो रिपीटेडली एक जो चीज आ रही है, वो है मेंटल हेल्थ. Mental health is a critical area for us, especially youth का, especially in this day and age. उसमें बहुत ही ज्यादा gaps हैं. There's not enough psychologists, there's not enough counselors in schools, and there are not enough support systems to help our youth. 50% of students who are asking for help, professional health in these schools, are not getting them despite having to wait 1 year, because we don't have enough supports. That's one. Number 2 is special needs education. There are parents who have special needs children, and they have zero support in the system. There's nothing. The best that the school system can offer at the moment is an independent education plan, which simply says, well, what are your needs, and we will do our best to meet them. But they're not being met because there's not enough training, there's not enough funding, and they're being put into this just the same box as everybody else. And और हर बच्चे की ज़रूरत different होती है, and they're not able to cater to those needs because there's not enough funding or training to do that. ये दो है. Number 3 is something that's close to my heart. वो ये है कि we need to be making sure that we're preparing students for the jobs of the future. We need to be creating leaders of our children. We need to make them help them become businessmen or whatever they want to pursue in the future. और उस पे ये है कि हमारा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फोकस होना चाहिए entrepreneurship teaching, vocational training होना चाहिए. दूसरा होना चाहिए financial literacy, and number 3 is personal development or self-development. And these are human skills, जिसको हम कह सकते हैं soft skills भी कहते हैं इनको. Leadership, conflict resolution, negotiation, team building, which ultimately जो आपके काम आती हैं in personal life and also your professional life. और इस चीज पे स्कूलों में फिलहाल इतना ज्यादा फोकस नहीं है, and that is one thing that I want to change, क्योंकि ये मैं खुद इस चीज से डील कर चुका हूँ और गुजर चुका हूँ इससे, and I know how important those skills are, because those are the skills that will allow our children to take what they're learning in the classroom and then take it to the real world and apply it there. And lastly जो है वो है partnering with parents to give them more say and sway in what's going on, because parents feel कि भाई हम जॉब करते हैं, हमारे पास नहीं टाइम होता, इतना there's not enough flexibility in school councils and otherwise कि हम टीचर्स के साथ beyond just the semester end interview जो होता है आधे घंटे का, उसके अलावा भी हमें कोई engagement होनी चाहिए. And how can we do that? And some are looking for before and after school programs, some are looking for other engagements. So those are some of the issues that we are currently working on.
So one of the issue which is definitely we heard a lot about it, about the racism in the school, right? That's something which is, we see that some of the children are really, they are said that there is a racism in the system, right? They are not giving, they are some type, they are complaining about the teachers as well as the system. Or sometimes the student, between the student, there a lot of racism is there. So these are the things are also increasing, right? And Islamophobia is one of the rising issues, right, in the society. So how you deal those things as a trustee, Ali?
Yeah, yes, no, those are great points. And in fact, I've highlighted 3 of the 5 points. And in fact, jo number 4 hai, that is actually tackling racism and all forms of discrimination, whether that's, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, anti-Asian racism, anti-Black racism. Because the reality is Markham, GTA as a whole, but Markham particularly, it is very diverse. And communities have, and we need to make sure that every community, regardless of who they are, where they come from, feels valued. और जो हमारा school board है, इन्होंने मतलब they've been working on it, especially over the past years, because there have been काफी pressures आ रहे हैं community level से parents के कि भाई what are those policies that are being put together and how are they being implemented. तो उसके लिए school board अभी फिलहाल काम कर रहे हैं. They're developing some of those strategies. Some of them have just recently been introduced. लेकिन उनकी implementation is the next step. और उनकी implementation के लिए हमें definitely we need broader consultation. We need to make sure कि भाई we have somebody who can help us understand what are the repercussions and what are the consequences and what are the needs and advocate for them. So definitely ये बड़ा important issue है. We need to make sure that our children feel valued, respected, and welcomed in those classrooms. And there is absolutely no room for any support of any sort of racism or discrimination. And this is where I would say, lastly, is that representation matters, and this is why we need to be on the table because we have to make sure that in these leadership positions, they reflect the populations they serve. Right. And and I think once we do that, it will take us a step closer to making sure that we can address these sort of issues.
So, mashallah, I really wish you best of luck, Ali, and I am thinking that you have a great talents to be the part of the trustee board of the York region, and I really think that you have a lot of potential, and that potential is supposed to be really delivered on our society, and society should benefit from the youth like you. So one of the message, what's the message you want to give to your constituency, the people who are listening you, that what they have supposed to do on 24th October?
Yes, well, you know what? That's a wonderful point, Arif, because we are doing what we can to reach out to the community. The elections in Markham started online. Voting is from October 14th to the 24th, and there's in-person voting on October 20, 21, 22, and 24. So what we need from the community, and I would request, is that if you would, I would love to have the opportunity to advocate for your children and represent you. And I cannot do it alone, and I cannot do it without your support. So please go out, take a few minutes, and do vote, whether you do it online, whether you do it in person. लेकिन आप वोट जरूर डालें, because यही आपकी आवाज है. और अगर आप वोट डालेंगे, and inshallah we are successful, then I would love to be able to sitting at that table, and I'm somebody who's open to listening and open to learning, and I will welcome those conversations so I can advocate on their behalf. And you can also visit our website, alichatta.com. And we're also on social media. Any of those panels, you can look us up. I've been engaging in multiple events and door knocking and doing everything. So aapko wo activities bhi milengi. We also have a phone number, 437-263-1166, that you can call us and reach out to us. Email is there too. So we welcome that. But please go out and vote and show your voice.
Thank you, Ali, for giving the time to Toronto 360 and Community Talk. And I hope that, I wish you best of luck once again. And I hope that you will be a great trustee in the future. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Arif Saab and Toronto 360 TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ali Chatta is one of the wonderful youngster who is running the trustee election from the Markham, Ward 5 and 7. And he is what an energetic person he is, mashallah. And I'm really